Welcome everybody back to the channel, Sporting with Smitty. I'm your host Smitty. We have a huge deal to report. We're a month away from the NBA season opener, and boy, is this a huge deal that might push the Eastern Conference back in Milwaukee's corner. Who knows? Damian Lillard, he has finally been traded. He is finally out of Portland like he wants after 10 seasons. And what a run it was. Damian Lillard, he will not be going to the Miami Heat in a stunning 3-team deal. He will be going to the Milwaukee Bucks. I couldn't believe it when I first saw it, and I don't think anybody else could have believed it. And here are the details of the trade that have been reported and have been finalized. Obviously, Damian Lillard will be heading to Milwaukee. In return, Portland will be getting Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, second-round pick from this year's draft from Phoenix, Toumani Camara, and 2029 Milwaukee unprotected first-round pick, and a couple of unprotected swap picks in 2028 and 2030 from Milwaukee. Now, Phoenix, I believe that they maybe got the better end of the deal as a whole, and they look to be the best team out of the deal as a whole. Grayson Allen will be heading to Phoenix along with Nasir Little from Portland, Yusuf Nurkic from Portland, as well as Keon Johnson. Now, looking at this deal as a whole, I really feel like all teams got better, especially Phoenix. Most importantly, obviously, you see now that Milwaukee finally has a reliable number 2 scorer behind Giannis. Last few years, you could see that has been kind of a big problem for the Milwaukee Bucks due to the unreliability of Chris Middleton's health. He's been unhealthy lately, and it has hurt them in the long run. But now, not anymore. Now, even if Middleton goes down, you have a number 2 guy, or even a guy who can take over as the number 1 guy, to really take over games. And Damian Lillard is that player. He has been that player for Portland for many years now, and I believe that he can really make the Milwaukee Bucks the title favorites again in the Eastern Conference over even the Boston Celtics. Now, this is something of my doing, and this is what I think will be the projected starting lineup for the Milwaukee Bucks going into the season. And it has to be next to the Denver Nuggets and maybe even the Boston Celtics. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I believe that this is probably one of the most talented and better, and maybe not if the best, projected starting lineup in the NBA. I mean, you have all-stars all around in this lineup except for Bobby Portis. Damian Lillard and Chris Middleton obviously being in the backcourt, and then the ridiculous front court of Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, and Giannis himself. This team looks like they could be the favorites to come out of the East. And I say that strongly as a Celtics fan. It only comes up to the only thing it comes down to them is health-wise. Is Chris Middleton finally going to be healthy? I know that Damian Lillard will be able to pick up the slack for him, but overall, if Chris Middleton is not healthy, that changes completely how the defenses will attack this offense when they're on the offensive side of the ball. And that's really what's going to be the difference maker here of whether they can make it all the way back to the NBA Finals and win it all again. And their bench has probably one of the best benches in basketball. Looking at it, you have Malik Beasley, Pat Connaughton, Jay Crowder, Myers Leonard down low, and Robert Lopez down low as well to back up his twin brother. Looking at this, you can see that this team is a complete team. And like I said, for them, it comes down to health. Will they stay healthy? Only time will tell. Now, looking at the Phoenix Suns, they look like the team to beat in the Western Conference. With this roster, the way it's constructed, with the new head coach who's very defensive-minded, they look like a team that could really unseat the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference, and not only in the Western Conference, but in the NBA. Looking at their backcourt, I know this is going to ruffle a few feathers, but I believe that Bradley Beal and Grayson Allen will be the starting backcourt on opening night. And, of course, the front three, you have Nurkic down in the 5, you have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. This lineup, next to the Milwaukee Bucks lineup, obviously, looks like one of the best lineups in basketball, period. minus a couple of teams at the top, obviously Denver and maybe Boston. But looking at this lineup, they look like one of the best teams in the league. And going to their bench after the acquisition of a couple more pieces, I mean, you look at the names there and you're just saying, how is anybody going to be able to compete? I mean, comparing benches, this might be one of the best benches in basketball. Bismack Biyombo, Bol, two big guys, big bodies that fight for position, and that really can be a hassle for the other team. Then you have Keon Johnson, who was acquired in the deal, who I think could be a good wing player in the NBA. Damian Lee in the backcourt, great shooter. Saban Lee, Nasir Little, Josh Okogie, who might switch back and forth into the starting lineup during the season. Who knows? Terrence Ross, another great shooter and a great scorer off the bench. T.J. Warren, and another big body in Yuta Watanabe. This whole team is, in my opinion, one of the best in basketball. They look like they can compete for a championship. They finally look like we might have an actual team that could maybe dethrone the Denver Nuggets. Like I said, we just have to wait and see. Health obviously plays a big part. I'm excited for this season. I think this is going to be one of the best seasons in recent memory. And now looking at the last team of the deal, the team that was really supposed to benefit the most, not only did they get draft picks, but they also got some great talent. Down low, you have DeAndre Ayton, really was the centerpiece, I believe, for them in this deal. The reason why I don't really have Jrue Holiday in this lineup is because I really don't think he'll be there. And I really don't. I think they're going to trade him. I think they'll get rid of him before the season starts. And what their asking price is, reportedly, has been multiple players along with 2 first-round picks. According to other reports, Boston was possibly in the running for it, but according to the Jrue Holiday camp, seemed the price was too steep for him. And I can understand it seemed like they wanted Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams along with those 2 first-round picks part of the deal. And obviously, as a Celtic fan, and I say hell no to that. But going back to this, looking at their backcourt, you can't pick a point guard in the top 3 picks of the first round and not start him. And I think Scoot Henderson takes the starting point guard job and replaces Damian Lillard, and we'll see what happens with him. Obviously, you have Anthony Simmons along with him in the backcourt. This kid is unreal. This guy has really shown out in his first few years in the NBA. He's put up 20 points a game. He's just an exciting young player to watch. Their front 3, Shaedon Sharpe, who didn't really get enough time last year, but as the season went on and you saw towards the end of the year, March, April, that's where he really got more minutes, and he really showed out. In April, he averaged over 20 points a game. In March, he averaged 13, so you can obviously see the potential there as a great player in this league. And obviously Jeremy Grant, another disrespected player, I think, in the NBA today. Wherever this guy goes, whether it's OKC or his time in Detroit, he has always been a guy who can put points on the board, and he's always been an overall great player for whatever team he plays for. And he's an exciting guy to watch, and he's playing for his hometown team, so you're looking at that and you're thinking, boy, he's already got all of the confidence, all of the motivation in the world to do great. And then obviously, you want to talk about motivation. DeAndre Ayton has been dragged through the mud for the last few years, whether you believe it's rightfully so. I think it depends on you. But this year, you're going to see a guy who's coming back, and he's going to be motivated to play. He's going to be motivated to show, hey, I was the top pick in the draft. I am that guy. I am him. And I think he's going to be one, if not the best one of the best defensive guys in the league this year. And obviously, looking at this bench, you're looking at this bench and you're thinking, okay, a lot of young guys, a lot of veterans, cast-offs. I don't expect this team to be the top 5 seeded in the Western Conference, but I do think that they can play spoiler in the play-in. They could be a team that could surprise people, get to the play-in, and who knows what happens from there. The NBA playoffs it's not like what they used to be, where you kind of had an idea, it's going to be Warriors, Cavs, LeBron's, Curry. Those days are over. You got a lot of young teams fighting for position now, and that's just the way the NBA is now. And it's an incredible time to be an NBA fan and a basketball fan. And I think that this Portland team definitely over under. I believe that I think they can get about 35 to 40 wins, and I think that can get them into the play-in tournament and make some noise, like I said. All I have for you guys today. Please comment below. Who do you think won the deal? Do you think Portland? Do you think Phoenix? Do you think Milwaukee? Do you think everybody won the deal? Please let me know. I'm curious. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and obviously comment. Please join me tomorrow for the big game between Florida and Kentucky. Go Gators. Join me. We can talk some sports, talk some football. I'm down. Thanks for watching, guys.